I just have a few minutes left. Yes. Uh, Verna Holz. Yeah. She was the actual signature of the parent. Yes. And then E.P. Holz, Elmer P. Holz. Yes. The father of the children named Ralph, Claire, Laverne, and Junior. And then let's see. My grandmother was 18, yes, on January 15th, and then the date of birth was 2018. Right. And then she last attended the eighth grade, and this was from 1932, Clallam County, on the first day of May in 1932. Now, I just want to make mention that every time I find a misspelling of any of my relatives, because you spell her name Clara. Yes. But when I was at the Genealogical Society, you misspelled my grandmother's name. Now, Sheriff, you're really pissed off because your corrupt county is really upsetting. Mhm. See, um, this is going to have to be annulled. Yes. That means that I was born out of wedlock. Yes. And considering my deceased father, Paul Douglas Budnick, yeah, I'm going to have to disown my mother. That means that I'm going to have to ask the state to remove all the documentation involving their marriage and their divorce. Yes, he does. And then I'm going to have to sue you. And now, for every oath of office of the state that thinks it's fucking funny, I want you to realize that I emailed you a screen print of what is known as DD 369. Yeah. Now, you can put a zero in if you want to. Yes, you can. Yes. But I'm going to email some more attorneys. Yes. And then I'm going to sue this county for covering up all their crime. There's something that you need to understand about the actual screen print that I used. This is the persons described above. Yeah. Who claims to have resided at the address shown above. Yes. Has applied for enlistment in the armed forces of the United States. It's an application to enlist in the armed forces of the United States. Now, I would think the military would say, well, we actually have ownership, but when you're just applying, yes. And I find out that my mother was not of legal age to marry, yeah. And I find out of forgeries of the ex-official Superior Court clerk. I found out you misspelled my grandmother's own fucking last name. Yes. And that my own father didn't know how to spell his own name when applying for a marriage license. It looks to me that someone's really been doctoring. Now, Sandra Taylor's not going to be allowed to be involved in my life. Yes. Because she's the parent that is still alive. And since she committed a sexual crime involving minors, yes, she does, and it was not true and correct what they had said on their marriage application, I'm going to want her removed from my life and put in prison. Now, please furnish from your files the information relative, yeah, to Section 3 below. Law enforcement agency, recruiting agency. Oh. Now, why don't you get me every city? County, yes. State, which in all federal documents, and for every fucked up dog that said, well, we're going to change the guy's past, yes, so that he's no longer Paul Budnick. See, I'm supposedly the crazy one. I'm going to want my sons, and I'm going to put you stupid fuckers in prison. Do you understand? Somebody went to doctoring all the documents so that your lookalikes would become the citizens. Yes. They just have a different last name that resembled the last name that you had as the citizen. Now, this is a war crime. Yes, it is. And I'm going to want prosecuted the sheriff's department, yes, the police departments, and those oaths of office that said, well, it doesn't have to be true and correct right now. Because it has to be true and correct. Because I, as an American citizen, yes, 48 years after my birth, if you will, I will have my mother in prison for doctoring her.